So hi everyone. Let me just introduce to myself. I'm Anish Wilson, working as a product analyst at TestingWhiz. So I just want to give ground rules before I start with a webinar, wherein all the attendees would be on a silent mode. So if you have any questions, you can just write up your questions on chat, and we would be addressing all the questions at the end of the webinar. So whatever questions you have, you can just note down and just write in text box. Okay. So to start with the webinar, you have been like would be knowing that we have introduced TestingWhiz 5.1 a couple of weeks before. So I hope you must have gone through all those particular or explored the tool and would be excited that what are the new features we have introduced in TestingWhiz. So here I would start with uh, the agenda. So mainly what features we are providing in 5.1 is the first one being visual recorder. Then we have some editable object properties in the test script itself. Then is the operation of the file operations, wherein you can just move or save that particular files. We have a new test command which is known as execute browser name, and the last one being schedule jobs. So to go ahead with the first particular test case, that is visual recorder, you can see we have a new new button in the tool itself, which is known as visual recorder. It is basically helpful for all the testers who can just upload any of the files. Maybe if I can just give you an example, it can be a form file wherein you have to upload an image or a PDF file. So this particular visual recorder would help you to easily click on that particular file or a PDF to upload it. So that all would be on the desktop screen. So it would be just a click or other visual actions which I would be showing you now. And it can be you can also switch between different testing approaches like visual test commands and the database scenarios. So let me just take you to the first demo part. So here is the TestingWhiz tool, wherein this is a particular visual recorder. So if you click on that particular button, you would be able to see that prerequisites, that is click on a button to start the full screen recorder, and Alt plus tab would be switching between the applications, and you can just drag a particular screen or an area on the screen to select it, or you can use print screen and paste it on the same. So I'm just starting with a recording. So here you can see there is a dark screen which is on that particular application, which indicates that we can now select a particular area. So maybe I'm just selecting a start screen. Okay. So here after selecting a start screen, here on the left side corner you can see the red mark. So I have selected a start, and here are the different visual actions which are available to you. So here I am just clicking on that particular button, and you can just give a name. Okay, for this particular test case I have already given, that's why it says that. So here you can see a new particular test script. So I have already created one of the test case. So to give you a basic idea, what I have done is I have clicked on a start button. On the search box, I have just written I just wanted to what we say, open up a calculator and add up some numbers and see whether what is the particular value and how does it work through Visual Recorder. It's just a sample. As I said, we can upload any of the files or other rich applications also can be easily executed through Visual Recorder. So here I'm just showing you what I have done. So here I have just calculated, I have just opened up calculator and added some numbers and observed the value of it. So that's what I would just show you now. So I'm just stopping the recording and I'm executing it. So here it goes to start, types in calculator. It's added the two numbers. Okay. So this is how the Visual Recorder runs in easily for you. So this was just a sample test case. Similarly, during forms or any of the desktop application, you can easily use this. Next to go in is editable object properties. Now, if you have already used a particular application, you would have seen that in the object properties, some of the options were disabled. So it was very tough for the customers or users to identify any of the objects or object properties. So now it is capable to change all the object properties for your future requirements also. So we have now a new CSS path also into it to maintain the object identification process. So let me just show you the same in the tool. So I'm just opening up a test script wherein we would be able to see the different objects here. So now I am just going into the input password object properties wherein you would be able to see before only alias and XPath was available for as an editable version. Now you can also input any text on the ID as well as you can tag your tag a type of that, whether it is a password or an input text box. So you can easily update it and select it from here and update the particular object. And here is the CSS path. So this is the new feature or enhancement which we have done in this particular tool. So you can just apply and it wherever you have used this particular object, that would be updated. Now the next feature which I would like to show is the file operations. What happens here is this is a particular file operation where you can easily copy a file from particular folder and want to copy or move into a different folder. That is easy for you. So it helps the testers to validate file automation scenarios, or if any you want to search any string in particular file, you can also do that. You can easily have the string action counts, so the number of occurrences in the string can be seen. Or if you want to download any particular files, you can easily do that. So I am just showing you that particular test scenario. So here you can see the test command file where these are the different options available. So maybe I am just using the first particular test command, that is file. Now I want to copy one particular file into a destination directory path. Maybe I want to just copy it into the computer. Okay, and you can just put up the timeout seconds. Okay, so I would just run this particular test command. And here we can see the particular test, which is success, and we can just check out. So you can see the execution log that the file is copied to D drive. So here, this is the particular file which I had taken, that is copied, and I'm just checking in D drive. So in D drive, you can see that particular file is copied. So this is how easily you can use that particular test command. Similarly, the next options you can see is move that particular file. Let's say if you want to move that particular file from one folder to any other folder, you can do it easily. Or else if you want to save a particular file, maybe from a URL, that is like you want to download a file from a URL, you can easily do that. So maybe I will just take you to the TestingWhiz site. I'm just taking you to the resource section, that is a documentation section, where I can just see maybe the installation guide of TestingWhiz. So here I click the URL, like copy the URL, and I'm pasting it here, and for the directory I'm just using as desktop, and OK. So I'm just running this particular command. Okay, so here you can see again the test case has been passed, and we would just see whether it has successfully saved it or not. So I'm just going into the desktop, and here you can see the TestingWhiz installation guide. So it has been saved. In other words, it has been downloaded to the desktop. Now, if you want to erase or delete some of the file, you can do the same. So these are the other options which is available. So the target file, maybe again I just want to delete that what I have downloaded now. So it has been removed. So you can see that particular file has been removed from desktop. And the last is to search a string. That is like in a document, if you have a particular word which you want to search out, so you can just put up a target file, then that particular text, and you can store it into a variable. So it would show how many times the word has been, or the word or the text has been occurred in that particular file. So that's what this particular search string does. Now moving ahead, I would just take you to the execute browsers test command. So what happens in execute browser name is, you would be easily, it is like an get statement you can use in for if conditional statements. Like, just to give you an example, I would just open up a file wherein you can see if an application which only runs on Internet Explorer, okay, that you want to use in a particular test project, and the other test cases are run in different browsers. So if you want to check, or if you want to execute that particular test cases, you can easily put up a conditional statement here that this particular test case one should only run if we have executed Internet Explorer. So what I have done is I have just targeted a variable as name, and in if condition I have said that if that particular target variable is run on Firefox, then only it should go ahead, or else it should exit the test project and move on to the next test case, right? So I would just show you the example here. So I'm just executing this first. Yeah, so here I have kept it as Internet Explorer. So first what I would do is I would run in different browser. Okay, so here you can see in execution log it says that execution browser was Google Chrome. So it doesn't contain string 2 and it jumps on to the test suite, different test suite, right? Now I would just again run that particular thing on Internet Explorer. So you can see that it runs the whole script and moves ahead. So this particular feature is basically used for applications which are dependent on a particular browser. So here you can see the different report now. So execution browser was Internet Explorer, string 1, Internet Explorer contained the same text, so it has gone to the next step, and then it has moved on to the next test cases, right? So these were the basic features, are the new features which we have and came up in TestingWhiz version 5.1, and enhancements being done on it. So I would just like to know if you have any question and answers. You have any doubts on the particular features you have? Okay, we have one question that is from Alex. That is, can I use visual recorder for Silverlight? So I would say that visual recorder is supported on Silverlight application as well as on Flash, Ajax, Flex types of applications. They can easily record through visual recorder on that particular screen, that is the desktop screen. So it does support. Okay, we have another question from Darren Morgan. Can I see an example of a test on a web page that has a model screen pop-up with options to pick in the model screen? I just wanted to know, could you just give me a more detail about the model screen pop-up? What do you mean by model screen pop-up? That would just help us out. Yes, it does support. Let me just show you the same. So I'm just opening up a particular website for date picker. So here I am just starting up the visual recorder, and through Alt Control I have moved on to the date picker website, and I have just selected that particular portion where I am clicking on date picker. Okay. Now I'm selecting the date. So that is August 1, 2016. Okay. So I will just stop the visual recorder. I'm just opening that particular website URL from here. I'm just manually writing it. So I'm here, I'm just going to execute the same. So it has gone to the website. I'm just clicking on. Okay, somewhere I just have missed it. Let me just check it once more. I'm just putting up the wait command, maybe because of the loading. I've just kept 5000 milliseconds. It has passed the test case, but it didn't show. It just it was very quick. So we are just recording it again. We have clicked that date picker. So you can see that one particular test case is there. So again, I have just selected the first date. I'm just copying the website URL and adding it to the test script. So here we have run. I have run it on the Google Chrome. It goes to the date picker. So you can see it has gone and clicked on the first date. So any kind of application can be easily executed through Visual Recorder. I hope Darren, you are clear. You are clear with this particular feature. You're welcome. We are open for next 5 minutes. If anyone have any questions, you can just put over through the chat box, or else After the webinar, you can email us on info@testingwiz.com. Okay, we have one last question from Alice. The question is, can we simultaneously make a database query with Visual Recorder? So the answer is yes, you can easily make the database query with while using Visual Recorder. So thank you everyone for attending the webinar. We would be forwarding you the recordings to your particular emails, and if you have any questions, as I mentioned, you can drop in an email and our team would get in contact with you and provide you the answers. And please do download TestingWhiz version 5.1 and explore it. Thanks and have a great day.